So, the big controversy about Amazon going to New York City is they got billions of dollars in tax breaks. What the richest company, the richest man in the history of the world needs tax breaks to do business. That was a little effed up. People got upset about it. And now guess what? Amazon's pulling out of the HQ2 deal with New York City. Well, here's what they say. The controversial Amazon deal is dead, taking with it 25,000 jobs promised for its proposed headquarters in Long Island. The internet giant issued statement on Thursday saying it will not pursue a second headquarters in Long Island City and has no plans to look elsewhere. After much thought and deliberation, we decided not to move forward with our plans to build a headquarters for Amazon in Long Island City, read the statement. For Amazon, the commitment to build a new headquarters requires positive, collaborative relationships with state and local elected officials who will be supportive over the long term. Boy, these guys really need people to hold their hand so they can run a company. They can't do it without government holding their hand. Isn't that something? That's weird. That sounds like socialism. While polls show that 70% of New Yorkers support our plans and investment, a number of state and local politicians have made it clear that they oppose our presence and will not work with us to build the type of relationships that are required to go forward with the project we and many others envisioned in Long Island City. So what needs to happen now is these politicians need to break up Amazon. And that's going to happen sooner or later. Half of all internet purchases in the United States go through Amazon. So the beauty so the horror of socialism is you don't get many choices, right? And the beauty of capitalism is you get not too many choices. We got to use Amazon. We got a handful of telecommunication companies. You don't get, it's the same. There's only 6 companies that bring you every newspaper, radio show, TV show, and movie.
Well, Jimmy, I was going to add what Amazon doesn't mention in this part of the statement there is that some of those local politicians wanted them there at first. Then they saw the details and they realized they were getting screwed over.
Yeah.
And they pointed it out. And Amazon said, well, we'll just take our ball and go home.
So do you know some of the screwing overs?
Well, I think they realized, first of all, when it comes to environmental issues, Amazon gets an F. That's pretty much common. They're like Walmart in that regard. They realized a lot of the jobs coming in weren't going to be great jobs, weren't going to be living wages.
And the tax break is a bad idea.
The tax break is ridiculous. It was a handout to Amazon. And also they realized that they weren't going to let people unionize.
Oh, no kidding.
Mm-hmm. So they were like, we got to stand with unions. They also are opposed to how Amazon works directly with ICE. So those were all the factors that went into that decision where they were like, you know what, we don't want you here. And instead of, even de Blasio in his statement said, gee, instead of confronting some of these criticisms, you guys just bailed.
Well, there's a little bit more to this. Cuomo, the top evangelizing champion of bringing Amazon to New York City, he issued a statement condemning critics who put their own narrow political interests above the community regarding the deal.
Yeah, he totally
Cuomo,
got it.
Cuomo's wants to represent his community. Okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say, he got it wrong. Totally shocking. Cuomo got it wrong.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio released a statement chastising Amazon for not being tough enough to stand up to the deal's criticism, adding, "We gave Amazon the opportunity to be a good neighbor and do business in the greatest city in the world. Instead of working with the community, Amazon threw away that opportunity," which is exactly what they did. So they're acting like narcissistic megalomaniacs. I wonder why. Oh, that's right. That's who's running their company. Dr. Evil, the richest man in the world. He's now upset that the politicians aren't working enough with him. Really?
I actually think his full title is Richest Man in the World and Extravagant Dick Pic Taker. I think that's the full thing.
City Council Speaker Corey Johnson said that the next big company that attempts to come to the Big Apple better be ready to work with all parties involved. Queens Councilman Jimmy Van Bramer, who ended up strongly against the deal after once signing a letter urging Amazon to come to New York, he said he was thrilled by Thursday's news. He's thrilled that Amazon's pulling out. And he gave a little speech. Here's a little bit of it.
Let me just say this. We are proud that we fought for our values. Proud that we fought for our values. Our values in New York City are to defend working men and women, labor unions, the rights of men and women to organize, to fight for their jobs, men and women who want to work. And we're fighting for immigrants. Yes, Amazon works with ICE, proudly works with ICE to terrorize immigrants. And we decided that we wanted to stand and fight once again on behalf of the rights of immigrants in New York City and in this country.
Wow, that's good to hear. A guy actually standing up for unions and worker rights, and he's an elected official. You never hear that anymore. That's unbelievable. He was being heckled, by the way, by some guys who were screaming, "We want the jobs. We want horrible jobs with no unions that make Jeff Bezos richer." Hey, I understand everybody wants a job, but this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stand up to evil. And Amazon is, it's a pretty evil company. They hollow out economies they come in unfairly, hollow out your economy, and then when all your stores close, they open up their stores. They're doing that with Amazon Books right now. They put Borders out of business and with Barnes and Noble, and now they're opening up their own anyway. So this is good to see.
Yeah, well, it's really good to see, and especially, put yourself in the shoes of a local elected official. It's not easy, to
Right.
stick your neck out when
Say
there's
no-
jobs on the line, because
Right.
even though in reality it's going to be, a parasite to the community.
Right.
It's not easy to take that position
I
and sell
know.
that, but enough of them stuck their necks out and they had enough community support. So, it shows what you can do when you really organize locally. You can tell Chevron to go away, like what Gail McLaughlin did in
Yeah.
Richmond, and you can tell Amazon to go away, like what they did in New York City.
So apparently Amazon doesn't need that second headquarters,
Right? Like they're just not. They're like, oh, we're not going anywhere else.
and we're not going to go anywhere else. What? So what was this? Was just to see how much money you could suck out of New York City state government? Wasn't it like $3 billion they were going to get in tax credit? It was some crazy big number like that.
Yeah. Well, and
Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that number.
Let's keep in mind the other thing that happened throughout the process of this, when they sold the lie that they were actually considering places, they got about $1 billion worth of information from cities all over the country. We
that's
covered
another
that. David
thing.
Dayen wrote that article.
That's
He still has that in his pocket, Jeff Bezos does.
Right. He's got all that information of infrastructure and everything, where we should build and all the great. He's got all that, and he given it to him by the states. Yeah. Yeah, Jeff Bezos, I can't wait for the day. I hope it comes. I don't know if it'll ever come, but that they break up Amazon. And
Is there any other government organization that he could be affiliated with that is even more intimidating than
The CIA.
and ICE?
so he's on the board of the Pentagon also. So he's in bed with ICE, he's in bed with the Pentagon, and he's in bed with CIA. He stores all the information that the CIA has on you. Jeff Bezos stores it. Plus, he has all your information from Amazon. So it's not Orwellian at all. It's not a nightmare. What could go wrong with any of this stuff? Nothing could go wrong. Well, thank God there's guys like this who are elected, who actually know what's happening and are standing up. Not that he's not afraid to, but he's doing it anyway. That's what courage is, standing up when you're afraid to anyway. So God bless him. Good on that guy. And that guy's name is Jimmy Van Bramer. That's Jimmy Van Bramer. God bless you, Jimmy Van Bramer. And hey, fuck Amazon. We're announcing our live dates for 2019. We're going to Chicago and Portland, Seattle, New York, all over the country. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all our tickets to all our shows. It'll be right underneath there, too. Please become a patron if you like our content and help support the show. You can become a patron for $5 a month, and we give you hours of bonus material. And make sure you're subscribed. They unsubscribe people every day. I'm not kidding. Make sure you're subscribed and click that bell so they give you a notice when we drop a video. It's the only thing we can do to fight back against the bastards. Thanks for your support.